Hey, how's it going everybody? Zuko here, and today we're doing an anime figure unboxing. It's been a little bit for me, not so long for the channel. I uploaded one a month ago, but that was supposed to come out 2 months ago. Just kind of got busy uploading other things. But today we're doing another one, and the theme of the episode will be like bargain bin figures. You know, figures that have sat on the shelves for a little bit. No one wanted them, and that's great for me because I actually did. So we have a couple here to talk about today. The main headliner is one from Alter, which I think is really nice, honestly, but no one wanted it. It was actually on my wish list. I was going to get it, and then I saw that no one wanted it, so I decided I'm going to hold off for a bit, and I'm glad I did. But before we get into that, I'm going to talk about a Nendoroid first. Another one that I waited to drop in price just a little bit, and that happens to be this one right here. I bought it from Yukio Kumo, but this box is Amiyami. Don't let that trick you. I just lost the original box. I don't know where it went, but first time ordering from them, and I would recommend it. I think they're a pretty good store. Maybe the prices aren't always like to my, I don't know, like what I would want to pay for an anime figure, but with sales, which they do all the time, it does even out. And I think they have a discount on shipping if you buy a lot. I don't really remember, but either way, they packed it well. Thumbs up to them. Just another store to recommend if you're from the United States. I don't know, I'm just giving them a shout out for some reason. But either way, the Nendoroid in question is, it's probably very loud on the camera. Crash Bandicoot. So, Crash Bandicoot here was kind of expensive. He was like 8,000 yen when he originally came out. That's a lot of money for a Nendoroid. Even today, we're starting to see Nendoroid prices creep up a lot. But this was announced for like pre-order, I want to say in the beginning of 2021 or late 2020. So even back then, it was like a 7,000, 8,000 yen Nendoroid. You could still very easily buy this, but no one wants to lower their price for some reason. Until Yukio Kumo came along, lowered their price, also did some kind of discount on shipping or something. I don't remember, but I got it for $60 instead of $80, which is great. Cool with me. So this Nendoroid is based off of Crash 4. And let me just say, I love this game. It's my favorite form of torture. I just love how the devs put hidden boxes in places you just can't see, ever, and you keep having to replay the levels. Oh, it's such a good time. But seriously, I do actually like this game a lot. It's beautiful, the level design is amazing, the controls are super fluid, and it just checks off all the boxes I'm looking for in a platformer. But it is a bit of a divisive game. You either love it, or you fucking hate it because it's just way too tedious in trying to 100% it. You don't always have to 100% your games, but with Crash Bandicoot, I think a lot of like diehard fans and people who really love Crash Bandicoot want to 100% it. The point is, they kind of went off the rails and made it just like super tedious and difficult to actually do so. I did it because I'm a crazy person. It took me like 40, 50 hours or something. It could take you a lot longer though if you die a lot. It really is just like a pain in the ass and not for everybody. But regardless, that made me excited to buy this. And, you know, now that we have it for a discount, kind of curious to see if this was worth their asking price or even the discounted price. So I'm going to open it now and just stop talking. If there's one thing I've learned while making these YouTube videos for a few months now, it's that unboxing Nendoroids, like live on camera, is really not very fun. Just messing around with the parts, it's kind of like anxiety inducing. It makes it very stressful and you kind of just like start fumbling over words. So if you want my recommendation, if you ever decide to like open these kind of things on camera, do it in post. Like, talk about your, like, full opinions in post. Maybe get your general opinion on it, like, live. But I think it's a lot easier, at least if you do it that way. And you won't stress out about it. But, anyway, I'm gonna see what this guy's all about. That's kind of neat, actually. I didn't realize he would come with 2 stands. One for Crash and the other for Aku Aku. Which I guess is a lot of value. I guess that's where the price is coming from. But, honestly, that is kind of nice, I guess, even if you don't want to use Aku Aku, and I think he has other ways to be used without using a base. There's another freaking base to have for other Nendoroids, so that's cool. This is what I'm talking about, though. It took me like 2 minutes just to take these out of the bag. Very tedious. This actually looks really good, actually. Like, the way this guy is painted looks phenomenal. I'm actually, like, impressed immediately at the way this dude is painted and like his shading. It just looks like superb. I'm honestly surprised. He's got some pretty good sculpting too. Like the eyebrows are very like fluffy as they should be. The mohawk looks surprisingly nice and really well sculpted. The paint for the gloves looks really clean and shiny. The pants are pants, but you know, they look like they should. And even the bottom of his shoes have the paw print pattern on them. Even his ears have extra fur plastic. Like, they could have just painted that on and, you know, gotten lazy with it, but they made sure to sculpt that, and I appreciate it. So Crash is one of those multi-joint Nendoroids. Like, he's got more posability in his legs and knees. Even his shoes have a joint for bending up and down. Sometimes I feel like these extra joints are kind of ugly on Nendoroids, but I think it works pretty well on him. Everything is tight, but not too tight like you're gonna break it. And his neck joint is pretty unique as well, as it actually allows for much more movement compared to normal Nendoroids. He could even stand on his own. Wow, isn't that cool? Honestly, it's kind of cool though. So you don't even need two bases. You could forgo it completely, but as soon as you start posing this guy, you're probably gonna need it. So either way, nice little feature. What else does he come with though? I guess the main thing is Aku Aku, which I think looks pretty good, but maybe not like color accurate. I need to double check what he's supposed to be colored as, but I feel like it's not detailed enough, but it still looks like him. It still does look very nice, and it still is painted very cleanly. Like, it almost looks like a piece from a PVC figure because it's so big. It's not like a normal Nendoroid accessory, but I don't know, there's like something off about the color scheme that I'm not fully loving, but I do think the actual sculpt of it looks amazing. So this guy can clearly be like put onto the base, but I think the idea here with this and Crash is that you're supposed to take off his nose. So you just, like, his little nose has a little peg that comes off of it, and then you put it on his face. You kind of just wiggle it around. It's a bit of a tight fit. And then it looks kind of weird, but I think there's like no real way to do this normally, because in the game it would be like flush on his face. I think that would make sense, but because it's a freaking toy made out of plastic, you look at it from the side and it just looks stupid. But if you look at it from the front, the illusion, you know, is pretty like maintained. It does look like he's wearing it in a way. I think it really will depend on the angle that you like view this at though, but I feel like I'm not gonna use it like this. I feel like I would rather have him like hanging out on the side with Crash Bandicoot. So as far as a main accessory goes, it's not a bad one as it has multiple uses, but it does leave a little bit to be desired in terms of the execution. And I think that's a bit of a problem with this Nendoroid, is that it doesn't really come with a lot that represents Crash Bandicoot. There's no crate, which is just like, how? There's no Wumpa fruit, which would be even easier than a crate. It's just like a colored apple. It's not an apple, it's a Wumpa fruit, but you know what I mean. It's just like a little fruit that they could have easily given him just to like put in his hand or something, and it would have felt that much more complete if they had it. But I'm kind of focusing on the negatives right now. Let me go back to the positives. So the way his face works is that he has multiple sets of eyes and an extra tongue that you could swap out whenever you want. Besides his normal set of eyes, he also gets a pair where he's looking upwards and another where he's looking straight ahead, maybe like slightly downwards instead. Also, I should mention he comes with a second faceplate as well where his mouth is closed. Since the eyes are plastic instead of being decals, they have a nice reflective look to them. But yeah, these sets of eyes let you pose him in a few different ways, like having him jump up or running around, maybe doing like the crash spin or something, stuff like that. But the more creative aspect to all this is that you can actually swap the eyes around to capture that crazy side of Crash, that twisted, insane part of the Bandicoot, have each of his eyes going in different ways and whatnot. It's a lot of fun to mess around with, plus his eyebrows are also posable. So really it's on you to get the perfect expression for Crash. It feels very in character and probably the most defining and well portrayed aspect of this Nendoroid. Just don't look at his faceplates without the pieces still being inside. How's this for horrifying, huh? Holy shit, look at this thing. I'll say the one downside of all this, which is the exact same problem Shin-Chan had, except worse here, is that he only comes with one set of eyebrows, so if you break those really tiny pegs, which seems to be very easy to do if you ask me, you're just boned. But besides that, the only other thing you get with this set are a couple of extra arm parts. Now, they're very big arm parts because of, you know, how he looks, but that's about it. It is a big chunk of plastic, so it's understandable that it will cost a little bit more than typical Nendoroids, but I don't know, is this worth $80? I feel like I don't think it can be considered worth $80. I'm not really sure. I definitely like how this guy looks. I really love it. I think as soon as I put it together with like other, you know, video game characters on a shelf, it's gonna look amazing because the sculpt and the coloring of this guy is phenomenal. In fact, I think it's better than a lot of Nendoroids I've seen lately. I've been unboxing a lot of the newer ones, and they look good, but they're not really like impressing me. They just look like typical Nendoroids. This guy, on the other hand, looks phenomenal. All the extra bits of like sculpting that they have to do to get his like mohawk, to get the shoes looking the way they're supposed to look, and like all the fur on his body, it really does look impressive up close. and the fact that Aku Aku is so big also gives this Nendoroid a presence that you're not really used to seeing on Nendoroid. So I think it's kind of worth it if you get it for a discount for sure. I would still argue against getting it for like the full price, but if you can get this guy for like 60 bucks or less, because I got to imagine at some point every store is going to get fed up of holding on to this guy, and then they will lower their prices more and more, then I say jump on it. A Crash fan would definitely enjoy this, but he needed a little bit more to actually be worth his retail price. You're pretty much just paying for how good the figure looks and not much else, so I can't really give him my full endorsement. If he had just one more accessory, I think my opinion would change completely though, because he is built really well and might just be one of the best looking Crash figures to date. But either way, that's about all I really have to say about Crash. Let's move on to the next figure. Alright, next up, what do we got in this box? It's from Ami Ami, one that I've really had my eye on, but I couldn't just like decide on it. But as soon as people started getting it, I really had to decide for myself if I thought it looked good. And I think you might know what this is if you watched the last video. I did mention it, so if you're like a keen viewer, then you already know what this is. But we'll take her out right now. What do we got? Well, okay. Corone, huh? Ooh, who guessed I bought this, huh? Well, I already said it last time. But yeah, I had to get it. I don't know. I guess I'm a simp. What can I say? I really do like Corone, and I'm gonna get into that when I review her. So here's the thing. I figure it would be best if I made her own video, because I feel like a lot of people don't have like a good opinion of Spiritale, and I think it would be better if I gave this figure her own video so that people could easily search for this figure without having to watch this entire haul unboxing video. Plus, I want to give this figure the respect it deserves. I want to review it very like precisely and make sure I'm, I actually write a script for it. I make sure I film it very accurately, because I am very curious about this one. So I'm going to have to wait until next week to really talk about her. But I think why this leaves such a good, strong first impression, though, is her face. It's actually perfect. It just is so cute, and I think the eye decals are really carrying this figure. Like, I might not be, like, super impressed just from looking at her outfit, but when I stare at her face, it's actually so, like, infectious. I don't know, I just have to keep looking at it. I'm just kind of mesmerized by, like, the way her eye decals look. And her, like, slightly chubby face. It's, like, not that she's fat or anything, but she just has this, like, really cute round face to her, and it's just captured so perfectly, like, with the way her mouth is, like, open. I don't know, it's very, very cute. And that's kind of surprising, because Spiritale, they didn't really put out too many good figures before this one. So, again, that's why I want to review her. I don't want to put her in this kind of, like, chill unboxing video. I do want to do, like, a legit review on her. So look forward to that next week. That will be my next video I'm planning to make. It shouldn't be too long. At the most, a week from the posting of this video. But either way, hopefully you understand. Thanks if you do. Sorry if you don't. But I think that's the best play for me. Look forward to that video very shortly. Alright, and now for the main portion of the video. So this figure, like I said, is an alter figure that originally cost 17,800 yen. Or 19,000 on Ami Ami. I think they make you pay tax for alter figures in Ami Ami. I don't know why that is, but that's just the situation that we're given. So I bought this off of CD Japan. It did hit the bargain bin at other stores like Amazon Japan really quickly for like 14,800. Not low enough for me. And even Ami Ami, they had it on pre-owned for like 12,500 yen or something, but CD Japan had a sale and it was 11,500, I believe. After shipping, it cost me $130, and for an alter figure, I think that's pretty outstanding, if I'm being honest, so really, I have nothing to complain about. So what's inside? Well, if you watched my cheap figures video, which I recommend, I think I did a pretty good job on it, I talked about alter figures, and especially idol figures. They don't really last on the market for some reason. The demand isn't always there. And that just so happens to be the case with this one. This is a Idolmaster figure that I very much was looking forward to. I wanted it, but I chose not to buy it. I just figured it was in stock everywhere, and it must have bargain binned. I knew it was going to bargain bin. One of the rare instances where I make the right call, and it actually did bargain bin. But I am very much looking forward to this one, because she was on my wish list, and I very much like this character. So, let's check her out. This is also going to be technically a CD Japan review. I've never ordered a figure from them. CDs plenty of times, but never a figurine, so I don't even know how they package these things. But from the looks of it, it does seem like they use, you know, the typical paper wrapping, which is good. And it's bubble wrapped. I guess my only issue would be is that it's pretty, like, close in on the box. It doesn't have a lot of room to breathe. So, no matter what, it would have gotten, like, you know, smashed if something, you know, unfortunate happened during shipping. So, I'll give him, like, a B. Like, pretty good, you know? Definitely cared enough to package this. But, hold on, let me get it out. Like, they weren't lazy with it, but it still would have gotten smashed. So, anyway, let me take this out really quick. Might be noisy. So this is the Kamiya Now Vanguard's Passion version. Basically just the outfit that she's wearing, the song that she's singing. That's what this is based on. Now, I love this character for some reason. There's a lot of Idolmaster girls, and there's so many that you'll definitely find one that is just to your liking. Maybe multiple, but it's always been Kamiya since I was first introduced to Cinderella girls. And while of course this is mostly due to her appearance and voice, if I could just point out one thing really quick, it's probably the eyebrows. I think it's extremely cute when these anime girls have really big, bushy eyebrows. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna push that agenda on you, and hopefully, you know, you start to realize how cute big eyebrows can be. So I also have this. This was the original figure of Kamiya Now that I had. Alpha and Omega made this, which I think is Alter and Mega House. I could be wrong on that. It's been a really long time since I've had this, or since I've even heard the name Alpha Omega, honestly. I'm not even sure if they exist anymore, because I haven't bought anything from them in a while. But this has been out for a long time now, maybe not like super long, but I remember like seeing this at a One Fest. I have this like really vivid memory of seeing this during that One Fest while I was out at Wawa buying like a buffalo chicken sandwich. I don't know why I remember that, but she left a strong impression on me and I bought it. And I've had this on display for a while. The only reason this is in a box is because I'm moving pretty soon and I just had to put stuff away. So whatever. The point being is that I like this character enough that I'm going to buy another one and I guess compare them. It doesn't really matter which one I like more because I like them both from their appearance, but I really am interested in this one because no one bought it. No one cared about this. That figure didn't really bargain bin. I think it kind of maintained its price, but this one is very cheap and it's probably going to go down more assuming the stock is still available. On CD Japan, there's still like 20, so they'll likely do another sale. You can't get it there at the moment for the price I paid, but they'll probably do it again, maybe for even less. So you might, you know, get it for a better price if you wait longer than I did. Either way, I'm excited to get into this because I really do like this character. And she's a 1/7 scale instead of a 1/8 like that other figure, so she's a little bit bigger. So she's not going to look exactly right next to her, but it is what it is. The box is not the traditional, like, you know, Alter loves to do clear boxes these days, for whatever reason. I actually like it when they're in clear boxes, but I guess I don't really mind when they decide to go back to more traditional style stuff. It's very pretty. It has a big picture of her on the back, a lot of stars, a clock, very, like, pastel-y look to it. Very clean, very cute. And, yeah, I guess I don't really need to talk about the box too much here, so let's just open her up. Man, Alter figures just smell. I don't know. I guess I don't open enough figures lately because this smells exactly like Shinobu. Just like death. Like I'm gonna die inhaling it. Okay. This should be very easy to assemble. But she unfortunately has twist ties. And I hate twist ties. So I'm just gonna have to like cut this until she's open because these twist ties might take a bit. So I'll be right back. Okay. Everything's off. I think I got all the plastic. I think it's all off. This looks amazing. This looks way better than I thought it would look. Holy shit. Like, it's so vibrant. The colors on this one. Like, I didn't even realize the jacket she's wearing had this, like, pearlescent finish to it. It's really pretty. All that gold trim around her looks amazing, too. I didn't even know her nails were painted. I always like painted nails on figures, as long as I don't do it sloppily. But, yeah, holy crap, this looks insane. I'm gonna put her on the base really quick, which is this just pretty simple, see-through, bubbly base. Has a metal peg on it, which is good. I don't know why they gotta do it where it doesn't just always flushly work. You gotta do it in a very specific way. You buy this figure, I think you have to do the metal peg from the heel first, and then align the left foot with the other two pegs. And then when you do that, it'll just go in as long as you push it. I don't want to like ever slam my figures into pegs. I always have to like very gently do it. Just kind of push it down slowly. It's a bit of a hassle, but rather be safe than sorry. Okay, she is on the base, and I kind of don't even want to touch her because she looks insane. I genuinely cannot understand, outside of like character popularity, how this could do poorly. And I'm gonna have to take a lot of shots of this to make sure I get all of like the little details on this one, because the outfit she's wearing is just magnificent. There's just so much going on, so many different colors, something immediately that you won't appreciate until you see this in person are the little jewels that are decorating the ribbons and like the tassels. They're like a really nice dark blue and purple. I think it's both of those colors. But the ones that are just like, just so ever delicately placed in very specific points look beautiful. And it really goes well with the color scheme. She's mostly white, right? That pearlescent white with a lot of gold. And then the inside of the jacket or the coat or whatever you want to call it is this really bright red, this really royal. There's a lot of like royal colors on this one, really regal, really like elegant color scheme on this one, and it's just beautiful. I really think they did an amazing job. Like, I was expecting this figure to be well painted, but this level of shading and finishes are somehow exceeding my expectations, despite how I'm always kissing Alter's ass in terms of their craftsmanship. Every inch of gold on this figure, whether it be like the trim of the jacket, the jewelry, the tassels of the ribbons, it's all perfect. Even the decorated patterns throughout her outfit are so cleanly applied to this figure. But it's all really there just to complement the rest of her color palette. It works so well with the bright reds and pearly whites when they're shaded this well. Her hair is also perfect. It's blowing to the left along with her earrings and just looks phenomenal in how it was sculpted. Actually perfect. Plus, she's got this really detailed ribbon adorning her hair. It looks very pretty. Her face has her signature strikingly beautiful red eyes along with those thick eyebrows. Her determined expression couldn't be more spot on, with just the slightest hint of blush to go along with it. But guys, this outfit is actually stunning. I've been drooling over the paint of it all, but the actual sculpt is just as good with so many details throughout the entire thing. The various chains, buttons, jewelry, buckles, frills, lace, there's just so much here to mention, and that's on top of how good the jacket itself looks flowing out behind her. The realistic creases along her sleeves and shorts, plus those boots. I love those boots. They're so big, but the design of them are super appealing to me. Also, let me just break away from this footage real quick to talk about the leggings, the stockings. Like, I love the way the stockings look. Not only are they like this really nice shade of brown, and they have stripes painted onto them to be striped stockings instead. They're laced at the trim, and then they have this rose pattern circling it. But on the garter belts, or whatever they're called, she actually has a little bit of skin indentation, really subtly, just to show you that, yeah, it's not painted on. They made sure that it's wrapping around her leg, not in a ridiculous way whatsoever, not even really in like a sexual way. You know how, like, you know, it's a really appealing, attractive thing when the, you know, the skin is getting squeezed a little too tightly, but it's just there to make sure that you know that they're doing their absolute best to make it look realistic, just enough to make it look like it's actually, you know, hugging her leg. And it just looks amazing. There's also not really a lot of skin on this figure, you know, besides her thighs and then like the tummy. Everything else is pretty much covered up, which I think is fine. I think that's kind of refreshing actually for, you know, an idol figure, focusing on the, you know, the outfit itself, the character, how like powerful she looks, stuff like that. It's kind of refreshing. I don't know. I like that they're doing that instead of just going with the typical idol route. Make sure that she looks really cute and attractive to everybody looking at her. So the vibe of this figure is just completely different from the other Kamiya now, you know what I mean? Like, that one, she was, you know, very traditional idol girl. I'm doing a happy pose, singing a song, making sure the crowd loves me. This looks like she's just about to sing a song. She's really determined. She wants to kill it. And this just seems like the freaking most important night of her life. That's the kind of vibe I get with like her expression, the way she's standing, the way she's holding the microphone to her chest. It just has that kind of aura to it. And I like that, you know, because I don't really see a lot of idol girl figures that look like this. A lot of them do want to just focus on the way the girl looks, how cute she looks, how sexy she looks. And that's totally fine. Nothing against those whatsoever. I have plenty of figures like that. But every now and then, and especially now looking at this, it lets me appreciate this other side of idol girl figures, because if you ever watch like any of the shows, any of the anime these girls are in, it's always about the struggle of becoming an idol. It's not the easy road. Like, they have to work really hard, and they're worried about it, they're stressed out, they're crying about it. And that kind of is represented a little bit in this figure, Where the other Kamiya now is like when she made it. Even though she clearly did make it in this figure, it still kind of reminds me of that. But that's just the vibe of it, right? Because everything about this is stunning, and I really couldn't be happier with it. I really, like, I was expecting to like this, right? I knew I would like this because I just like Kamiya now. I like her looks, I like her personality, I like her voice, but I just didn't expect it to look this good when no one bought it. Like, when no one buys these figures, it gives you the impression that it's bad. Like, oh, it's bargain bin because there's something wrong with it. But I just don't see it. I genuinely don't see it. If you don't like the vibe of this figure, I can totally understand that. But from the quality standpoint, no, I don't understand that whatsoever. She just must not be very popular anymore, and that's a bit of a shame. But hey, if you like her, and you like this, then you can get it really cheap. Like me, like $130 for this? Like, no way. Not in today's age. Like, $130, maybe even less in the future as the yen drops, and no one continues to buy this. You might even get it for $100. And at that point, you're just stealing from Alter, like, seriously. But that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching my anime figure unboxing. Not as many as last time. I don't really know, like, the right number to do on these. Plus, I don't even do them that often, so let me know how this was. I'm always working on my videos, and I like feedback, so if it sucked, let me know. But if you liked it, also let me know. Be sure to subscribe if you want to watch more of this stuff. Like the video, comment, all that stuff. Really does help me out. And until next time, which will be the Corone video most likely, I'll see you later. Bye.